Hey, gits and gals, this is Warboss Nick of the Broken Legion of Gamers, and today I'm coming to you with another advice for beginners video. In this video, we're going to talk about tools and hobby materials you should get for building your models. The first thing you're going to need, and it's very important, is a nice flat surface to work on. So a table of some sort, that's definitely key. If you don't want to spend money on something to build your models on at first, just use a newspaper or something. After a while, I used that for a while, but after a while, I moved up. I bought one of these. It's one of these healing cutting mats. It's by Army Painter. This one's a really good one. Army Painter still sells this exact self-healing cutting mat, but after a while, I moved up to something bigger, a lot better, a lot more stable. It's unfortunately not being made anymore. It was made by GW. This was their painting station. These holes back here can hold pots of paint so you can build your models on it. Then when you're ready to paint, just clean it off and you can paint on it. These two big holes up front can hold the water pots that GW makes, and these little holes can hold paintbrushes. It's a good buy if you can find one. I highly recommend picking one up. It's a nice place for you to do all your hobbying on. And with these little bumps down here, if you're in bed, you can put it on your lap and build a model in bed. That's just if you're feeling super lazy. But I'm assuming that you already bought your first sets of models to build. Now you're looking for the tools. Something you're definitely going to need is glue. I don't use the Games Workshop stuff. For plastics, I use this right here. It's the Testors plastic, the Testors cement for plastic. It's basically plastic glue. And due to this big hole right here, it's not good for the small models we use. So I pick up these little applicator tips right here. You'd stick it on the end, and it makes a nice bead of paint. Nice bead of glue, I mean. That's if you're working with plastic. If you're doing metal or resins, you need super glue. These are two I highly recommend. Either Gorilla Glue Super Glue Gel or the Loctite Super Glue, which this is a gel as well. This one's nice. You squeeze these blue parts over here and it brings out the glue for you. It's nice, controlled. Both these super glues work very well. I haven't used super glue to glue plastic models onto their bases because God forbid I gotta pull a model off and rebase it. It's a lot easier to break it off if you super glue it than if you're using plastic glue, because plastic glue, what it does is it melts the plastic, and basically when the plastic rehardens, it becomes one piece, and there ain't no getting it apart. Now the next thing you're gonna need is one of these, a pair of clippers to clip the models off their sprues. This, you can get the one from GW. It looks nice. These are Army Painter ones. I think they're $13 and they work really well. You're also going to need an X-Acto knife. This is a hobby knife. You use this to cut the flash off the pieces of the excess plastic off pieces of models, and this can even be used if you rub it backwards to clean off the mold lines. It's a good tool. It works very well. And the last one, this is really an optional tool. It's a hobby drill. It's really good for drilling out gun barrels. Some people don't drill out gun barrels. I do, so this is a very useful tool for me. Plus, I use Army Painter paints, and sometimes the paint dries up in the tip. Just poke this in, you'll break that up. Now, as beginners, these next tools are optional tools, and here's the rest of the drill bit set for that drill. If you can't afford a drill, but you pick up a cheap set of drill bits in a pinch, you can use a hobby knife handle and put the smaller drill bits in, and it will work as a mock drill. I recently just refound this. I was using this to build pretty much all of my orcs. Now, the first optional tool that I think is really worth picking up, it's almost a necessity. It works really well on plastics and resins. You cannot use it on metal, is the Citadel mold line remover. This tool is great. It will save you a lot of time. It's very easy to use, and it will not damage your models. If you're going a little too crazy with this, you're going to gouge out your models, and there's only so much damage to one model you can say is battle damage. This will avoid that damage. These are great tools, and it's one of the most reasonably priced Citadel tools. This one retails at $17.99. I'd definitely pick it up. And if you're going to be working with metals or resins, these are almost auto buys, but they're really optional. If you're working with resins, you can use a hobby knife to clean up mold lines and flash. These are only really mandatory if you're doing metals, and when you're first beginning, stay away from metal models. Get some hobbying under your belt, get some building models under your belt, and then move to metal. Stick to the plastics and resins, please. You'll save yourself a lot of time, aggravation, and you'll almost want to quit the hobby. But these tools right here, they're typical hobby file, just your typical hobby files. As I said, they're mandatory for metal to clean up mold lines and clean flash off the model. It works really good to get really big chunks of flash off resin, and you could probably find a couple other uses for it. This was one full set that I ordered from the Army Painter. As you can tell, a trend. I really like Army Painter products. They make a good product. Ordered these. They last me a good 4 or 5 years, and then I went a little rough, I guess, and this rat tail file bent. So I picked up another set of files. It actually had 15 files of various sizes and shapes. And these are just 2 of those. They work great. A file is a file is a file. You can even get away with, if you're on a really tight budget, you can get one of those nail file from a dollar store. That'll work good. And you can also get an emery board for a file like this, which is more coarse. But that's all the advice on buying tools I have for you guys. As always, if you like what you see, hit the subscribe button. Also hit that bell icon so you're notified anytime I put up a video. And as always, support local gaming. Here at the channel, we support Toy Wiz in Nanuet on Route 59, right across the street from the Dunkin' Donuts. That's in Nanuet, New York. Have a nice night, guys.